In this video, we're going to take a look at exponential equation writing, and in this particular case, we're going to be given the initial value and a working point. So we're trying to write an equation for something that we know grows through multiplication. Repeated multiplication is exponential, so our equation is going to be in this form: y equals a times b to the x. And so that's what we're going to be writing as our equation. Now, we're going to be given the initial value, so we're going to know what it starts at. And we're going to be given a working point, a point that we know is also on that exponential curve. So here's what a typical two questions would look like. Now I'm going to show you both of these questions. What I would like you to do is you could pause the video here in just a second, and then you could work out these problems to the best of your ability. Now what I'm going to do here in the next 2 seconds is I'm going to show you the answers, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you the work. So go ahead and push pause. You can copy these down and work on them. Here in a moment I'm going to show you the answers. So here come the answers. There are the answers. And now let's go ahead and go through and take a look at how you figure these out. If you'd like to pause the video and check your work, you can do that. Here is what we come up with. Now, in order to figure out an exponential curve equation, when you know what it starts at and a point that it goes through, there is either a table method or you can be an equation method person. And I'm going to show you both of those, table and equation. So for the first part of this, let's go ahead and take a look at building a table. If I was going to build a table out of this, I know it starts at 7. That means the zero value is 7. I know that it goes through 3 189. So if you're a table person, you jump right to this, 3 189. Now once you have the numbers in the table, you can work it out from here. Working it out from here allows you to see that the strategy we've been using is what is called next divided by previous, because I know this is repeated multiplication, so I can undo that with a simple division. I can take the next one in the list that I know, which is the 189, and divide it by the 7. So I do 189 divided by 7. That's going to give me how many times larger this is. But it's how many times larger in 3 moves, because I've got 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 moves. The distance from 0 to 3 is 3. So this is 3 moves. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what we call the nth root of next divided by previous, the nth meaning the number of moves, which in this case is 3. So I'm going to take the third root of 189 divided by 7. Now, obviously, taking the third root of 189 divided by 7 is something we would want to do in our calculator. Hopefully you know how to do that. Push 3, math, and then the one with the x on it, which is number 5. I can do left parenthesis 189 divided by 7, right parenthesis, and it tells me that is 3. That means each time this is getting 3 times larger, times 3, times 3, times 3. So my b value, or my multiplier is 3. As soon as I know that b equals 3, what it goes by, then I know this is what it starts at, and you've got it. You've got the equation. Y equals 7 times 3 to the x, which is the answer that we had before. Okay, now let's take a look at equation style. If you're going to just simply do equations, well, we know the equation is going to look like this, a times b to the x. You need to know that the a value is the starting value, what it starts at. This is what it goes by. So we can plug this 7 in. So this 7 is what it starts at. I can put that right there. Now, the other thing you need to remember is that anytime we get a working point, that's an x and a y. There's no disguise there. That's what they are. Every time we have an ordered pair, we have an x and a y. So now we can plug that in for x, plug that in for y. So the y would be 189, the b value we don't know, and then my exponent is the 3, because that's the x value. So I know an a, an x, and a y, so that's 3 of the 4 letters that I can plug in. So then I just simply divide by 7, and 189 divided by 7, that's the number that we're going to be taking the third root of, which is 27 equals b to the third power. And then I can take now the third root of both sides, because that's how you cancel a third power. And of course I get 3 equals b. I can go back in and now I can build my equation again of y equals 7, because that's what it starts at. 3 is what it goes by to the x power. Awesome. Table or equation. Now, you can do the same thing with the graph. If you're given the graph, you could go right to a table. So this one starts at 80, then 4 moves later, it's 165.888. So you could go to this. 0 is 80, 4 is 165.888, and you could do the table method. And you could figure out what it goes by taking the fourth root of next divided by previous. Or, and then you could write your equation. Or you could do the equation method. The equation method for this, given the graph, is you just plug it in. Here's your a value. Again, a working point. Oh, that's an x and a y in disguise. So then I take 165.888 equals what it starts at of 80 times b to the fourth power, divide by 80, take the fourth root. And in both cases, you're going to end up getting this answer, which is that 80 y equals 80 times 1.2 to the x. So you need to be familiar with writing equations for exponential functions, and in this case, if you know what it starts at and you know a working point, then you definitely know 3 of the 4 letters and you can solve for the final. In the next video, we'll take a look at when you have exponentials with just 2 points and you have to make all the rest of the calculations.